What we do here is go back.
Politics, entertainment, current events. The Intersection brings it to you real on the Voice of Reason station on Dash Radio.
With Senator Isidore Hall and Nikki Flores, live every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the Voice of Reason channel on Dash Radio. Good morning and welcome to the Intersection. I'm Nikki Flores, and today I got my co-host with me.
Hey, I'm Neil Holmes, filling in for the senator.
That's right. He is out today saving the world, so we're going to take care of the show here for you today. Shout out to the Zoe Wood Show. We are broadcasting live on his YouTube channel. Zoe Williams, we love you. Shout out to the Voice of Reason. We are on Dash Radio. Make sure you follow us on the Intersection Live at YouTube and on Instagram as well. And we got a lot to talk about. We just going to get right into it.
I'm gathered here with dozens of my congressional colleagues underground in the basement of the Capitol, because if behind those doors they intend to overturn the results of an American presidential election, we want to know what's going on. And it's only reasonable that we would have questions, because so far, Adam Schiff's impeachment inquiry has been marked by secret interviews, selective leaks, weird theatrical performances of transcripts that never happened, and lies about contacts with a whistleblower. Is through those hidden closed doors over there, Adam Schiff is trying to impeach a president of the United States behind closed doors, literally trying to overturn the results of the 2016 election a year before Americans get to go to the polls to decide who's going to be the president. And frankly,
Still talking about this 2016 election. They will not let it go. But more importantly, are they a mob now?
Of course.
Because I'm pretty sure that was mob activity. They might as well have had the torches themselves, like I was talking about last week. Like, get the torches. You know, first we got Trump last week dog whistling lynching. Just let me drop this on you, everybody. Lynching, this is like a lynching. And then now we got people storming the door and trying to break into a secure area. These are all government officials, so they know the rules, they know the law, right? They help make it. I'm just very confused about how they think this is okay.
I mean, and the cliche thing to say is that had this been Barack Obama, it would have been a whole different situation.
You already know.
So this is kind of funny to me, the fact of the matter that you got all of these GOP lawmakers that say call foul for whatever reason, knowing that the evidence is right there that this man did this wrong. So I just don't understand how we can allow this as a country, and it shows that how we're losing confidence in our political system with something like this.
I mean, well, the people who's supposed to be running the political system are playing games. Like, all the information that they want, they can get, because there's Republicans who are in those committees and in those secret hearings that they keep talking about. They're happening, and if you're going to try and tell me that those Republicans aren't telling them, the rest of them, what's going on, then you're lying. Like, get out of here with that. So they know what's going on. They know what's being said. And something that I've been hearing a lot of the pundits saying is, like, because they can't attack the fact, because they know, like you're saying, they know exactly what he did wrong. It's all out there. It's in the transcript that he provided to us all. And so they're trying to attack the process. They're trying to be like, well, this isn't fair how it's going down. Well, does it really matter? Like, he wrong, and he got to get out of there. So.
Point blank period, you're wrong. But I do have to say, I am not mad at the fact that they all come together and they're saying this is what we believe in.
They got that down pat. And if the Democrats could do that just a little bit, it would be amazing. Like, they could make real moves if they could pick things to focus on. If they could, because it's like the Republicans, I feel like, don't have as many tenets to take care of. You know what I mean? They got the specific things. They like small government and, everything private, buy your own stuff. And then the Democrats are like, well, we got social, we got healthcare, we got, they got all these different things. And y'all need to put it on a wheel and pick something and be like, we're going for this today. You know what I mean? Like, ride for your team. But this is ridiculous. I mean, they're acting like some straight thugs. They went in there kicking down the door, and I mean, they want to be held in contempt is what it seems like. They want to get hauled off, and then for them to be saying that they're righteous in that. So it's all a stunt. It's real unfortunate. But I mean, I hope that people are not intimidated. And shout out to that witness.
Absolutely.
who left the room, you know what I mean, waited, and still like 5 hours later was able to give her testimony anyways, even though they were clearly trying to scare the hell out of her.
Right.
That was the whole point.
But truly, this is also like that gangster type stuff too. I mean, Trump's the Godfather, or I hate to say that, but I mean, he's the Godfather, and now he got his cronies that are out here just bullying these, and this is crazy because this is the epitome of what bullying is about.
Man.
All day long. In this sensitive America right now, yes, all day.
Doesn't the First Lady have something
absolutely.
about bullying or cyberbullying or be best or better or something? Something. She need to start at home.
That part.
Let's go to the next clip.
Elijah E. Cummings. And, you know, this is a title that we confer on all kinds of people who get elected to public office. We're supposed to introduce them as honorable. But Elijah Cummings was honorable before he was elected to office. There's a difference.
You and Mom literally gave me life, and we've shared an
Rest in peace to the Honorable Elijah Cummings. Very sad. We lost a real one, and somebody who has been in the fight for longer than those of us younger than him have been alive. I mean, like he in every civil rights space that he could speak up for people who weren't being spoken up for. He's defended people who we feel maybe he shouldn't have defended out of the kindness of his heart and out of compassion, and to be an example for reaching across the aisle. And it's horrible that he's gone in this time. And that he had to go when it was going like this is what hurts me the most. That he had to see things rising back up to such a fervor when they were, you know what I mean? Like racially things were kind of settling in a different way. And this president has pushed that divide and really just emphasized it to a way that I'm sad that he had to see that before he left for sure.
And part of me is upset about the fact that here's a man that fought throughout the 70s and the 60s and the 70s about the civil rights movement, created change, walked through change, and saw change, you know, with Barack Obama and a few other leaderships, and created change even in his district in Baltimore.
Right.
Only to now see this particular president and this particular GOP lawmakers start to revert backwards.
Right.
And
to try and undo everything.
And trying to undo all the work that he's and his predecessors have always tried to do.
Right.
So all of a sudden now, unfortunately, he passed away fighting still.
Yeah.
And it's a hard way to go, but I mean, I believe that God had a purpose for him all the way 100%, you know, to say, look, this is what your fight is going to continue to do. Now you left a legacy. Now let's see who's going to pick up the mantle to do what's going to do the rest.
Oh yeah. He was a blessing to everybody that he came into contact with and didn't even talk to or touch. So, I mean, he's definitely missed. And two presidents, you know, speaking at his memorial. And everybody just in awe of what he had done. And man, President Obama.
He always throwing shade, ain't he?
He throws shade, he shuts it down. He's like, are you sure you want to speak before me? Because I think I'm going to take him to church, you know?
Right.
You know how I'm going to do. So, I mean, he does it every time. And then did you hear about that little handshake snub, or did you see that video?
I did not see that.
Well, one of the pallbearers, a good friend of Elijah Cummings, was going down and shaking hands of a long line of lawmakers. It was like a front row in the pews. And he got to Mitch McConnell and was like, to the guy next to him.
Wow.
And McConnell was like, he just kind of standing like, turtle. He just kind of standing there. And then the guy's like, I couldn't shake his hand. The pallbearer had a brother who was a veteran who had gotten cancer from like contaminated water when he was fighting for our country, and and died because of that. And he said that it was like McConnell's fault, basically, that they couldn't get the funding or something, that he wasn't able to save his brother's life. So he was like, that's what he was thinking of. So it wasn't even about anything else. Like, you know, it was like, oh, politically or in relation to Elijah Cummings. It had to do with his personal family, his brother, who had passed from cancer and was a veteran, and he felt like McConnell ain't doing nothing for veterans, and definitely not veterans that look like us. So
there's always a sub story on top of another story.
Always,
when he deals with
always
this
a
White
story.
House and everything, right?
Always a story. So rest in peace to Elijah Cummings.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Brought the whole country together to achieve a truly momentous milestone. They said it couldn't be done. Past administrations had tried and failed. Some didn't try very hard, I will say that. But they tried and they failed. After years of waiting, we assembled a historic coalition, and it was indeed historic. We had them so liberal you wouldn't believe it, and so conservative you wouldn't believe it. And they got together. I said, how did we do that one? But it was a beautiful thing to watch. It really was. And we rallied activists and faith leaders and law enforcement and lawmakers alike. We worked across party lines very strongly. After all of the work and effort, we passed the bill, and I proudly signed it into law, the most significant criminal justice reform in many generations. We call it the First Step Act. I sort of like the idea of just calling it criminal justice reform. But first step is good because that allows a second step and a third step, and that's okay, because we can go there too. But the first.
All right. This is one of the things that he's actually done all right on, and I hate to give this man some credit. But the First Step Act has gotten some people freed who were there for too long, or just their sentences had been inflated. That woman that I can't remember her name right now, but that Kim Kardashian helped with, and that whole situation. There was multiple people who, it wasn't just her, it was multiple people who have benefited from this. So like, this is great. Justice reform, we need to start it. We need to get on that bail situation. But the First Step program, I can't hate on. I can hate on. Giving this man an award. I don't know, send him a letter, recognize him, something, but to have him at the school. I went to HBCU, I went to Bethune-Cookman in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I love my HBCUs. And the only thing that worries me, especially with my school in particular, because we also had Betsy DeVos there, is I see smaller HBCUs really thirsty for some attention and for some support and for some funding. And they are willing to allow anybody to come on the campus, speak what they speak in. Generally, they don't come on the campus to talk crazy to them. It's always a innocuous message, but the other things they say when they're not on campus are the things that are a problem. So it's like, you can't just separate those two things and be like, oh, maybe we can get some funding, or, we're trying to get in their pockets. And I'm tired of that route. I'm tired of the, oh, hey, let us shine your shoes, and are you good? Can we get a couple of pennies on the back end? Like, I'm so through with that. So I just feel like I don't know that it helps the school. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a treat for him, it seemed like. I'm sure they had to do all kinds of stuff to make it secure for him to be there. It's probably just a hassle. Like, I don't know if it was really worth it.
Like you said, I mean, because I didn't go to an HBCU. I grew up around it in North Carolina, A&T, Shaw, all of that. It was interesting with Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina. Is that, like you said, they are a smaller institution. They are looking for the political funds and things. But how Trump went about doing this to not just receive the award, accept the award, but how he put his own people in the crowd and only had 10 students come to the actual award itself is asinine to me.
10 students were invited.
That's
I
it.
forgot about
That's
that
it.
fact.
So
10 students were invited.
Right.
And who knows what staff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you set it up and you're like, okay, and then you don't take care of yourself. You're like, okay, president, come through and whatever you want, and that's fine. Okay, kick kids out of dorms, we're good with that. Just for the, like no, like no. And why wouldn't we attend? Why wouldn't you want to speak to our students?
Right.
So you're renting out our facilities, basically.
Basically. So,
okay,
but
then
you
just pay us and let's not give him this award. Like just rent it.
And you know you're going to be on a national scale when that comes along, which is why Kamala was like, no, I went to an HBCU. I'm not going to attend this, even though she eventually did come. And she had.
It's hard.
It's
hard,
very
like
hard.
I'm saying, like it's talking about justice reform, the first step, and we want to support that. And be like, yes, any positive movement that you, idiot, are making, like let's expand on that. But we don't need to lick his boots for that. It's his job to take care of people. So I'm really frustrated.
And I guess that's the question for me is kind of like, had I attended HBCU, maybe I would have had a different approach, a different attitude. And I know that, they're very traditional. They're very about pro-Black. They're all about, letting us, and unify us together. Was this worth it? Was this worth the fact of the matter that you got a presidential candidate? Now, granted, later on that day, they had 3 other candidates come, Biden and I believe there was Gilbert, and there was another woman as well from Minnesota. I can't remember her name. But they still had this debate. But still, is it worth having that divide on a campus? But I feel
like, and that only happened, like any other president goes and speaks somewhere, you don't have the opposite party 3 candidates coming through and be like, well, here's what we think too.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? This is only because he's so divisive that they felt like, well, we got to get up there and we got to make a statement about something too. And like, we should be president. They should have been thinking about that already. To be honest, like if he beat you to the HBCU, that shows where you're at too. So
yeah, it's good political strategy.
Well, I went to an HBCU. Go visit, girl. Where them alumni at? Next clip.
Now changed because Donald Trump stood on this very stage, and I feel like I need to address it. It was unacceptable to me that Donald Trump was given a venue which he filled principally with people he brought instead of students from this great university. Members from the broader community were not included. And these are the folks that deserve to hear from this president. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump was given an award. He was given a platform. He was unchecked for close to an hour. The Bipartisan Justice Center allowed him to create an illusion that he had support from HBCUs or this community, when in fact, just as he's done to communities like this one throughout his entire professional career, he does not have the support communities like this that he actively demeans, degrades, and disempowers. And so the insulting things that he said yesterday are worth discussing. He talked about being a president who's done more for Black people than any other president in this history, when the reality is he is outright, overtly attacking Black communities. He's been shredding the social safety net in our country that disproportionately helps Black families. He's actively seeking to kick low-income families off of SNAP or food stamps, a new proposed rule that would affect an estimated 3.6 million Americans who would no longer be able to receive food stamps. In areas where environmental injustice, environmental racism thrives, his EPA has now conducted less than half the federal inspections and evaluations that it did in 2010. Trump has...
Cory Booker coming through with the facts. But one thing I hate every time somebody brings up food stamps and they want to talk about how it's going to, affect the Black community. Black people are not the majority of people on food stamps. Go look that up. It's talking statistics. It's generally white people.
Facts.
So they're the ones that are going to be hurt by that. Thanks, Cory, for pushing that. You know what I mean? But he's right about all the other things, all the attacks. And I'm sure that man got up there and was like, Black unemployment is low, like he always does. He can't, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. He can't see a Black face and not be like, Black unemployment's low. Like, First of all, what are you even talking about? That's an individual thing for everybody. So that doesn't mean nothing for nobody as a collective. Like, I don't know what he thinks that means. And Cory's right. Like, how dare he, try and pretend that he's got all this support. I will say, unfortunately, and this is something that I know happens at some of these smaller HBCUs too, is that the administration oftentimes is very archaic and very looking to appease, you know what I mean? So like, you know, the student body and the staff and everybody might not even be in accord with what, you know, the board and the administration has decided to do. So who knows? Like, I don't know what Benedict College like personally felt about it. I don't know if those 10 students were even wanted to be in there, you know, or if they was like, maybe they was in student government or something and they were like, okay, we'll go and like be there. But you know, I just wonder. I wonder how any of them felt like that. And it's funny because we was all in their stuff, all in their space, and nobody cared to ask none of them about it.
Yeah.
I don't think he fielded any questions from any of the 10 students or none of that. So it was all for himself. All for himself. No surprise there.
And I think you're absolutely correct. Corey was absolutely 100% right, minus the SNAP program, things like that. But
not like it won't affect our people, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not just us. Like.
Yeah. But he did make a good comment of saying that Trump, in his mind, thinks he's the savior of black people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, no, Mr. President, you are not. Okay. And with that, I do agree, because again, knowing people that are in top administration with some HBCUs, smaller HBCUs down in Florida and things like that, I mean, there is a dissension between the president level and then staffer level. And sometimes getting them on one accord is about money.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So again, we got to look at it, and I understand that perspective. Get your money, do what you got to do, get the funding, do things so you can recycle that money back to the student population. But is this what they call a sellout? You know,
you got to do it in a way that makes it known about where you stand. Is how I feel about it. So I wish that I would have seen a protest, but there was probably like no protest. You know, they probably told the students.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it went down, but I'm sure there was some internal discussion and that they probably tried to handle the students in a certain way. And maybe it was them who decided only 10 of them can go. Like, I don't know how it went down, how the negotiations went down. I just don't like it.
Not at all, not at all. And I'm with you on that, you know, and I just hope that whatever they got on the back end with this, I hope it was worth the fact that no matter that you made national headlines, and hopefully it increases your student enrollment.
Yeah.
You know, because the bottom line is once these people leave, you still got to get kids into the school.
Right.
So let's see what happens after this now with Benedict College and stuff. And
hopefully all those students vote.
Yeah.
Hopefully that school is a polling place.
Right. And maybe that's the rally crowd. Go out and vote. If you don't like this particular president, go out and vote. Make your difference change by going out and voting.
Yeah.
But again, is it worth that?
Yeah, and they got to make it something.
You got to
make it worth it.
And Corey, I could say kudos to you for stepping up and really just making your comments very visible, you know, not just a tweet, so to speak, you know, but you really stepping up and saying this is what it's about, you know, and I would hope that even he and even this, you know, a Democrat presidents would say, hey, let's go to Howard, let's go to A&T, let's go to these other HBCUs, let me go ahead and rally the black population or the minority population into two schools, because they, you know, minority is shifting, with actually HBCUs, and say this is what the issues are. Talk to us. Let us know what you're thinking about us.
Right.
And then maybe that creates a precedent that would help us for 2020. I don't know.
Maybe. They should think about that. Call your Democratic strategists.
Secondary relationship, a second relationship that Hill did address in a letter to supporters, and this involves a worker on her campaign staff. In a letter to supporters, she writes, quote, I became involved in a relationship with someone on my campaign. I know that even a consensual relationship with a subordinate is inappropriate, but I still allowed it to happen despite my better judgment. For that, I apologize. Now, she wrote this because a conservative blog posted an explicit photo of her. And in response to that, she also addressed it in this letter. She adds, quote, distributing intimate photos with the intent to publish them is a crime, and the perpetrator should be punished to the full extent of the law. There it appears that she's referring to, Brooke, California's revenge porn law that does carry a fine of 6 months behind bars, and that law is to try to
Katie Hill. Man, she came in blazing too. She was one of the, I think it was 137, I want to say. Don't quote me on that number, something around there. Congresswomen who were new, who came into Congress after we got this president in 2018, and dang, what a crash and burn. I feel so bad for her. So she's going through some contentious divorce. I don't know if this relationship is happening inside the divorce, outside the divorce, or what they deal is, because you can't know from the outside. But it sounds like her husband gave these files, these pictures of her and this campaign staffer, which, you know, is out of pocket, and she would have been cited for that anyways, and possibly could have had to resign, even if had this been found out. But where he messed up is he's now committed a felony. I think it's I feel like it's a felony, but I'm not sure. They were just talking about carry 6 years, I think they said.
It's 6 years. It's a felony.
But revenge porn. Like, so he gives these these documents trying to get her back and blow her whole life up. To this woman who takes it to this conservative site. She also takes it to the Daily Mail, which is like a UK tabloid site. And they publish the pictures. And like, I'm trying to remember, like, Anthony Weiner. Remember when he was sending like pictures of his wiener and all that to other people, not his wife? Like, the papers didn't even show his photos. You know what I mean? Like, they just showed like chest up, and like they respected him. And you're gonna show this woman's like she's an official, a government official. Like, there's a scandal and be like, there's pictures and all of that and talk about them, but you posting them, like, now you're in it. So I think she's gonna be coming to sue. Yeah. Her husband. I don't know how that's gonna work. The woman who took it to that site, which was like something Red State or something like that, a conservative site. And then the Daily Mail as well. And she should, like, this is illegal. Feel how you want to about her, whether she's cheating on her husband or if this is a consensual thing or they got an open marriage. I don't know. I ain't gonna conjecture about that. But what he did is completely wrong. And there's other ways to, like, do the same thing, is what is unfortunate for everybody.
How many times have you and the senator always had those conversations about how the Democrats are always like, oh, we don't know, you know, we're going to play kumbaya. And the GOP, the Republicans, are like, gotcha, you know, all day.
Every time.
So this is a perfect example of her who is rising in power as a Democrat and in Congress and has this lily white, figuratively speaking. Yeah.
No pun.
Yeah, no pun. Record that got exposed. And you're right. I mean, behind it, what you do in your personal life, what you do in your personal agenda is what you do. But at the end of the day, Katie, you also you were running for office. You won for office. You know that people are going to come at you 100%. You got to clean that up.
I mean, you know, 2018 wasn't that long ago. She just got in there.
Right.
So, you know, where's your head at? Apparently in a relationship. So, like, with somebody on your staff. So, like, we got stuff to do in government, especially your party. So I'm gonna need you to get with it. It's unfortunate that she couldn't just, like, do how any Republican would do and just be like, and so what? I will be at work tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Like, if she could do that, but she's like, oh, it's a distraction. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate because of the double standard for women, but it's a huge scandal and there wouldn't be no turning away from it for her, unfortunately. So it sucks that she had to resign because of this, because she probably could have did some more good work in Congress.
Absolutely.
And now George Papadopoulos is coming for her seat, so they are super juiced and chomping at the bit over there on the Republican side. So that's a loss.
Stay tuned.
Okay, guys, so get this. Suge Knight has denied signing his life rights over to Ray J. In an audio recording obtained by The Blast, the infamous hip-hop figure, who is currently incarcerated for murder, said the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood personality is simply in charge of all Death Row Records dealings.
Yeah, I've heard about the article being released regarding that Ray J has all my rights, television, movies, books, and all that type of stuff.
He don't. Ray J is not just a friend of mine, that's little brother, that's family. And I respect Ray J and his business dealings. That's why I choose him as one of the guys to deal with the music side of the future, as far as Death Row Records, anything to do Death Row, and it's great to have him because he'll be putting out this incredible album, and I heard it before. Knight confirmed he actually made his fiancée, Toy Lynn Kelly, the guardian of his life rights, explaining, As far as the person who has the power of attorney, which is Toy, who is dealing with the movie, television, and a documentary. The former Death Row CEO then revealed Nick Cannon will be handling his autobiography. Nick Cannon will be doing the book personally as a writer. I know he has all the potential and the spirit to be a great writer. He is a great writer. He'll be doing my book, he said. I can say he is a trustworthy guy. I think you should take notice to it. He's probably one of the most power players in the industry today who is honest and real. He keeps his word. So what do you guys think? Is Suge Knight's life rights safe in the hands of Ray J? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that.
Okay, I'm glad we got some clarification on that, because I was like, he signed his life rights away to Ray J. That don't quite add up. That don't quite, nobody signing their life rights away to Ray J really quite adds up. So it makes sense, because as silly, as goofy as Ray J is, he knows how to make money. So I was like, that's what I figured it was, that he is going to let him play with his money and bring him back double. You know what I mean? Like, there's no problem in that. I mean, and I'm not surprised with all these people who are still working with Suge. As long as he's around, he's going to have that pull. As long as he's here, and like, especially people in the state, like.
The man has life in prison and still making multi-millions of dollars, you know, off this.
But he's got a whole family. He's got a fiance. He's got kids. So him signing his life rights away to Ray J didn't seem like something that was like logical at all. But that's crazy. I would love to hear what Nick Cannon has to say about this. Like, somebody would push back on him. Like, so what you doing working with Suge Knight and like doing this book and all of that, and hear his spin on that.
But Nick is also a businessman too.
Definitely.
So he gonna. And I guess maybe I'm biased because I'm from the East Coast. So for me, it's like Suge Knight story. Okay, I mean, maybe he got some interesting things in there about what he did with Tupac, Death Row, you know, Snoop when he was with him, all that stuff like that. Maybe great. Maybe there's some great stories within that. I don't know, but you know, if he comes out with a movie. That would be interesting. The Suge Knight movie.
There's supposed to be another Tupac movie that he's trying to do coming out.
What kind of movie could Tupac do?
That Suge is trying to do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Suge could do. What kind of interesting?
One that could possibly be disrespectful. I don't know. We'd have to wait and find out.
We hope not.
I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna try and disrespect him.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like him continuing to profit for sure. You know, like when he got sent away, I was like, oh, okay. And then when he got sick, and I was like, oh, okay. So he's not like he was gonna die or anything, but I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna sit down. You know what I mean? He's gonna be cool. He's just gonna be in there. He all out here with us, all in Hollywood and shit. Like, what's going on?
I would be interested to see who they actually get to play Suge Knight though. That would be like, if it was a big time name, especially if you got like a Nick Cannon or, you know, Ray J. I'm sure he has pull in the entertainment industry. I mean, I'll be interested to see who would actually play him.
I don't know, because what they've been doing with these like, you know, like these biopics is going for somebody who looks so much like, you know what I mean? Like trying to like fit that. And then they, like the Tupac movie, like they was like, okay, we got you. You look like him, just deliver these lines.
Yeah.
And it was like, he could do that, but he was like the hologram because he didn't have the soul. He didn't have that soul inside. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the movie. Right. All eyes on me. All right, next clip.
Rudy Ray Moore is hysterically funny.
You may not have ever heard of him, but he is extraordinarily influential.
He was trying to be an action star, a comedian, and a musical entertainer at the same time.
Rudy Ray Moore is one of the first ones to put rap and rhyme to rhythm.
We're down in the jungle deep. The lion stepped on the signified monkey's feet.
Rudy was one character off stage, shy in person, who found this alter ego.
It's Clark Kent and Superman. He created this other guy.
Dolomite is my name.
Dolomite is my name. And Eddie Murphy is back. I'm so excited.
Ride a bald eagle, million feet in the air, and get up and do the running man while you up there.
I've been waiting for this movie for a very long, since I heard it was coming out. Eddie Murphy touching anything, I'm gonna check it out. You know, unless it's like a family movie, then I'm like, might pass. But Dolomite, I was super excited about this. I still haven't seen it yet, so don't worry, you ain't gonna get no spoilers from me. But I really need to see this, and I'm so excited to see him back on, I mean, it's Netflix, but you know what I mean, back on the big screen and showing his chops. Like, he ain't never lost it. Like, people think like, oh, you haven't seen him, and like, he could hop up and do a stand-up show right now and be just as funny as he ever was. He just isn't.
Eddie Murphy is a comedic genius.
Oh my gosh.
So if and when you see this particular movie, you haven't already seen it, and I haven't yet, so I'm like you, I don't know, no spoilers, but it is freaking hilarious. And if you know anything about the old Dolomite shows back in the day, the 70s and stuff, like, I was not allowed to watch any of that.
That was too much.
Yeah, it was way too much.
Ain't no blaxploitation
Right.
in this house.
So when I heard this movie was coming out, I went back to my archives and I started saying, okay, Dolomite.
Yeah.
Start watching everything.
Okay.
The fight scenes, the comedic stuff that he was in, the lines, even just the general acting, the camera angles.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And it makes you appreciate black cinema.
For real.
100%. So
the whole cast
Yeah.
looks banging. I've only seen the trailer, so that's all I can really comment on. But I'm really excited. It makes me excited to see a resurgence in comedy from some people who we know and love. Like, they truth tellers, and they come out and can deliver something in a way that makes you laugh and makes you think. And yeah, I'm glad, and I'm glad Rudy Ray Moore is getting his story told. Because I mean, as the man who played Dolomite and didn't really get his shine like he maybe should have. So
yeah,
Eddie Murphy taking care of that. So
good stuff, Eddie.
I do want to mention, shout out to the first responders. Right now, we are dealing with so many fires. The whole state is burning up almost. We got the Getty fire down here in Southern California. There's a Kincaid fire in Northern California, and I think 100 other fires all over the state. So I want to shout out the first responders who are taking care of people, and to the people who are affected, to just keep your head up. And if you need to evacuate, please evacuate. Do not try and save a house. That is not worth it. And I understand memories and all that, but watering, hosing down your house ain't gonna do nothing when those fires come through.
Houses can be replaced.
They can be replaced, and you can't, so
Right.
protect yourself. Also, sad news, found out yesterday that John Witherspoon, Pops from Friday, passed away. So rest in peace to him. Sending love to all his family and loved ones. He will be greatly missed. He was hilarious. And talking about Eddie Murphy and him made me think about Boomerang.
Gotta coordinate.
Gotta
Just like we do. We coordinate.
We coordinated
Gotta
today.
coordinate.
All right, that's our show. It's short today. You know what I mean? We're on the in and out. It's Wednesday, October 30th. This has been The Intersection. I've been your host, Nikki Flores.
I'm Neil Holmes, sitting in for the senator today.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you right here next week on The Intersection. Be nice to people.
Appreciate you.